Hi, my name's Ian and welcome to the channel. If you've not been here before and you have been here before, then welcome back. In this video we're going to be changing the U-bolts that hold the rear leaf springs onto the rear axle on this rear wheel drive Ford Transit Mark 7. So we'll jump straight into cutting the old ones off and then fitting the new ones. Hopefully in this light this is being picked up, but I'm sure that these leaf spring brackets shouldn't be doing this. You can grab hold of them, and the one at the back is even worse. The whole lot is moving and I get horrendous vibrations off of this van. I've been trying to find out what it was. I had a loose gearbox mount and yes, I think this may well be the problem. Right, today's task is to change these U-bolts holding on the leaf springs. The reason for doing that is if I just put a spanner up the back end here and put it in position, the whole thing is rattling about. Now it's not possible to tighten these up anymore, whether it's because there's not enough thread on them because these aren't the original ones, or because of the fact that they're just rusted up so much. So the plan is I'm going to get a disc cutter and we're going to cut them off here, and obviously on the other side as well, drop them out, and then I've got some brand new ones to put in. So what I'm going to do one at a time. I won't have the disc cutter going with the camera because I don't want to damage the camera, so I'll cut it out, drop a new one in, and then come back to you on it. Right, that's the first one cut off and back in now. So all I've got to do now is, you just see the threads hanging out the bottom there, is to run the nuts up. I'm not going to tighten it all up at the moment until I've got the other one off, but it's just so I can just do one at a time here. I've seen other people do it where they take both off at the same time and the whole axle drops, but I thought I'd doing it one at a time, at least the axle's not going to drop. Saying that, I've got an axle stand underneath it and it's also supported by a jack just as a belt and braces. But I must say, I'm not sure whether it's just to do with the fact that my angle grinder blade is a bit blunt, or whether these are absolutely rock solid, because it's taking about 5 minutes to get through each one. So you need a 22mm spanner to do these up, and make sure you're doing them up evenly, so you've not got too much in the way of any too much thread on one side or the other. So just do it nice and evenly. As I said, I'm not going to nip these up fully yet until I got the ones off the other side, because I want to just wiggle it about a bit just to get it in the right position. One thing to be really careful of if you're using a grinder to take these old U-bolts out is to make sure you don't go cutting through your handbrake cable. It doesn't really matter on this side because I'm going to replace this one anyway, because you can see here the whole thing is broken and literally there's water getting inside there. So I've got the whole of this to replace, which will be on a separate video. So I wasn't too bothered about hitting it on this side, but obviously I've got to be really careful when I get to the other side, because there's nothing wrong with that side of the handbrake cable. One thing I have noticed with these new U-brackets, now whether it's supposed to be like that or I don't know, but they're actually slightly splayed out. So what I've ended up doing is on the other side I've basically used like a clamp just to squeeze it in and then slowly lower it down and into it. So the other option is to actually give it a squeeze in the vise, but unfortunately my vise isn't big enough to be able to give this give it the squeeze that it needs, but I don't really think it needs it. So it's just a case of getting a pair of those grips on there and just give it a squeeze in and then lower it down slowly. As you can see, I've just given it a bit of a squeeze now with this, so I've just squeezed it in and basically then it should lower itself in, and then obviously then just release it out, another tap in, make sure it lines in properly, and then we can get the nuts on it. Well, that's the first two now in and tightened up. I haven't got a deep socket, so I'm not able to torque them up. I'm not quite sure what the torque settings will be for it anyway, but literally I've done them up as tight as I can, and I'll probably do about 50 miles in it and double check them again just to make sure they've not come loose at all, and then check again probably another 100 miles after that, and hopefully happy days. So yeah, just got the other side to do now. Right, we're all jacked up now, ready to do the other side. So same procedure as before. I'm going to grind them off, and then I'll do one at a time and then refit the new ones. Well, that's the first one ground out, and same procedure as before. Basically get your clamp and just knock it down. Squeeze it together, knock it down. And we can start putting the nuts back on it again. It's a bit of a game putting the nuts on, especially if you've not got a long socket, which I haven't. So I'm using a socket to get me about halfway up, and then it's a 22mm ring spanner for the rest of it. So it's a bit of a workout on the arms, but getting there in the end. Right, that's the last one, final one loose. There we go. Right, get the last one in. Right, so that's the two new ones now on. As I said, I'm going to drive it for about 50 miles and just have a quick look, make sure they've not come loose, and if they do need tightening up, then I'll tighten them a bit more, and then I'll check again after another 100 miles as well, just to make sure. And probably just keep an eye on them over a period of time, as I know they were loose. Yeah, it's just worthwhile doing that. So yeah, that's the end of this install. Well, hopefully you found the video interesting if you want to do that job yourself. And it's yeah, the reason I did it was obviously because the U-bolts were loose on the back of my van, and even though there was enough thread there, I couldn't tighten them up anymore. It was they've been there for quite a long while and the threads were all rusted up, so the easiest way to deal with it was to cut the old ones off and then fit some new ones. So if you've got any questions regarding the installation of those, please don't hesitate to ask. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you again in the next one. Cheers.